Hey, my friend, for a long time I taught English, and honestly, I taught it badly. Here's something that made me question everything I knew about teaching English. My students kept getting higher test scores, but their speaking didn't improve. They could finish grammar exercises. They could understand reading passages. Yet when someone asked, "How was your weekend?" they froze. That's when I realized we weren't teaching people to speak. We were teaching them to pass English exams. So 3 years ago, I stopped teaching the traditional way and started a simple experiment. And here is why this is critical today. You cannot make building faster. 6 years of intense study didn't make it faster for my students, and it will not make it faster for you. But you can stop building, not for the entire English language, just for one single conversation, in one single day, 10 sentences, one situation, completely automatic by tonight. Let me clarify what the title of this episode actually means. Tomorrow, you will not speak English. You will speak about one specific thing in English without building it from scratch, and you will hear yourself do it. The next day, you do the exact same thing with a brand new situation. When you look at it closely, your entire life is made up of maybe 12 core conversations. Ordering food, seeing a doctor, meeting someone new, explaining why you are late. 12 weeks is all it takes to completely own every single one of them. One day gives you one flawless conversation. 12 weeks gives you your life back. We will achieve this using a 3-part framework, mapped perfectly to your day. First, morning is for your mouth. Beautiful, ready-made sentences are completely useless if your mouth muscles cannot physically produce them at full speed. Second, afternoon is where you collect. This is where you gather those sentences and make them yours. Third, evening is where you perform under pressure. Because let's be honest, a sentence you can write down on paper is not yet a sentence you can say to a human being. Each of these 3 blocks feeds the next. That is precisely why people who only practice one of them feel like absolutely nothing is changing. Now, one honest disclaimer before we take the first step. The actual exercises will take you about 20 minutes, but finding your specific material will require another 5 to 10. So let's be real. This is a 25 to 30 minute daily commitment, not a magical 10-minute fix. However, nothing in this routine lasts longer than 10 minutes at a single time. And finally, there was one major anomaly that completely surprised me during my research. The adults over 35 often improved the absolute fastest. And the reason behind it is not what you think. I'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's begin. Every morning, before you do anything else, I want you to spend just 3 or 4 minutes on one exercise. Out of everything I have tried over the years, this is still the one that changed my speaking the most. It improved my pronunciation, gave my speech a more natural rhythm, and helped my mouth respond faster in real conversations. The exercise is called shadowing. You have probably heard that word before, but there is a good chance you have never actually done it correctly. Most learners think shadowing simply means repeating what they hear. It doesn't. That small misunderstanding is why many people practice for weeks without seeing much improvement. Let me show you the difference. When you repeat, you listen to a sentence, wait for the speaker to finish, and then you say it. When you shadow, you do something completely different. You begin speaking while the speaker is still talking. You stay about half a second behind, almost like a shadow following a person on a sunny day. You never wait for the sentence to end. That tiny half second changes the whole exercise. Here is why. When you wait until the speaker finishes, your brain has time to prepare. It searches for the words, plans the sounds, and tells your mouth exactly what to do. That is useful, but it is not how real conversations work. Real conversations do not pause and wait while you prepare your next sentence. People keep talking. Your brain has to keep moving with them. Shadowing trains exactly that skill. It teaches your ears, your brain, and your mouth to work together in real time instead of taking turns. I still remember the first time I tried it. I thought I was ready. I pressed play, and after about 8 seconds, I completely lost the speaker. I stopped. I went back to the beginning. I lost them again. I remember thinking, maybe I'm just too slow for this. But the problem was never my ability. The problem was my expectation. I believed I was supposed to keep up perfectly from the first day. Nobody had told me that falling behind was actually part of the training. So before we go any further, I want you to remember one sentence. If you forget everything else from today, remember